Hi guys, welcome back to yet another interesting episode of Popcorn with Piyu, where we discover various aspects of life and finds a thread that connects us all. I'm your host Priyanka Naidesai, and today we'll be talking about something deep, something heavy. This podcast is mainly meant for school and college going students and also for those who are in the field of teaching. Today, we'll be talking about the role that a teacher plays in the life of a student. In our life, our first teachers are parents. Whatever I am today is all because of my parents. My mother has been my biggest cheerleader and my biggest support system. Whatever confidence that I have today and whatever I am doing today, be it in my academics, be it running this podcast, everything, it's all because of my parents. My mother taught me to believe in myself, and my father has always encouraged me to move forward. And that is why I'm boldly speaking in front of so many of you. The second most important role in our life is played by our teachers. Look at the bond between Dronacharya and Arjuna. Dronacharya did not just provide Arjuna with the physical aspect of warfare, but he also provided him with moral and ethical guidance. He taught him the importance of dharma. He taught him the significance of righteousness. That is exactly what a good teacher does, right? A good teacher not only provides you with subject knowledge and technique, but he also teaches you to think, to be mentally fit and to analyze things. I did my primary and high school education from a state board school. To be honest, as a child, I had some great teachers in my life. The one that allowed me to think, the one that have allowed me to ask questions, and the one that have encouraged me. I still remember this one time when I was supposed to perform for the inauguration ceremony of Indian Film Festival, which is popularly known as IFFI. And I had a teacher, her name is Teacher Fatima. The amount of pride and excitement that she had because her student was going to perform was just limitless. She was so excited, and it is this kind of excitement that encourages a child, right? And since my childhood, I have always been a curious kid. Someone who would keep asking questions like why, how, and all such things. Just because you make a statement, I will not listen to it. I would need justification and reasoning for everything. That is how I function. Probably because my mother made me to think, to reason out things, and even some of my teachers have always encouraged that. And that was how our earlier education system was, right? When India had Gurukul system, it was being functioning on the concept of enriching. Enriching is a concept wherein the students are given opportunity to explore, to reason out things, so that they are given opportunity to think about things. But once I entered my high school, things did not remain the same. The current education system that has been followed in a lot of our institutions, it is an impact of imperialism. And imperialism runs on the concept of social engineering. Social engineering is basically a manipulative technique wherein the people with power make the other people believe that they are dumb, that they are worthless, and that they don't know anything. That is how the European made the Indians feel, right? And that is why a lot of Indians started following the European ideology. The same concept has been followed by a lot of our teachers and many people from our parents and grandparent generation. And by the way, you cannot blame them for that because as I said earlier, it is the pure impact of imperialism and they have imbibed this ideology in them. So there was this teacher of mine who did not like me asking questions. Every time I would ask her any question, she would call me Abuz. Abuz is a Konkani term for someone who gets anxious or nervous for either no reason or over some petty issues. But in reality, I was never like that. But now, as someone who is 14 years old or 13 years old, at that age, you rely on your teachers, your parents, and your friends to think about you, to have an opinion about you. You don't have your own perspective, right? At least nowadays, school kids still have access to social media and various other forms of knowledge. They have opportunities to listen to something like Aman Gupta and all of them, wherein they can at least think about it, like whether whatever my teacher is saying is right or wrong. But when we were in school, we had no such opportunity. We used to totally rely on our teachers and our parents. So when my teacher started saying such thing, somehow deep down I started believing it. So one time it happened to such an extent that this teacher called me in front of the whole class and she asked me to write a very difficult spelling on the board. And I was hardly something 13 years old or something, and she knew that the spelling was difficult. She knew that I would not be able to spell it, but she intentionally did that. And as she expected, I made some error while spelling it out, while writing it down on the board. And then she said things like, "You think you are too smart, but you cannot spell such basic things." And then I felt really bad because she said it in front of the whole class. In addition to this, she also said like, "You scored well not because you are intelligent, but only because we are being lenient to you." This statement shattered my confidence because all through my life, I was always being confident about my academic performances, and there was something which I was good at, like I knew academics, dramatics, some of them. And she had just pointed out on one of those qualities on which I was confident about. So that statement had shattered my confidence away. After this incident, I actually started feeling anxious and nervous over a little thing. For a really long time, I did not have confidence on myself. I could only regain my confidence because of my mother, because my mother believed in me more than myself. She helped me to find the best qualities in me and helped me to work on them. See, in life, you will find a lot of teachers who will try to pull you down. But you need to understand that the core thought behind it is status gain. By doing this, she's just trying to show that I'm not good and that she is better than me. She just wanted to show herself superior. The same thing what the Europeans did with the Indians. Probably when I asked questions in class, my teachers did not have answers to all of them. So she felt that she is superior. If she did not know answers to all of it, it would lower her status. But she failed to understand the core thought behind teaching. Teaching is a field wherein you just don't teach, but you also learn with students. It is a learning process. So she felt instead of lowering her status, it would be better if she could just shut me up by humiliating me. And that is what she did. But she did not think about the long-term consequences of her action in the life of a student. A teacher can uplift as well as lower your confidence. I will share another incident concerning this. So I was going for chemistry tuition in my 12th standard to a well-known tutor in Goa. His subject knowledge is just commendable, and if you are good at the subject, like if you are really good at it, he will love you like anything. He will just encourage you. But in case if you are not good at it, in case if you are not at the level of expectation, if you are not building his level of expectation, then he will make you feel worse about you. But everyone cannot be good at everything, right? So there were students in my class who were not good at chemistry, and this teacher would make them feel worse about themselves. He would say things like, just because they are not good at chemistry, he would say things like, "You would not do anything in life, you will be a failure in life," and several other comments. And when I would hear him saying such things to my friends, I would really feel bad. I would really feel disheartened. So one time what happened is, this sir gave us to solve a really difficult problem, and he said that whoever is going to solve it will get a chocolate from him. And one of my friend, she was the first one to solve it, but she was not great at chemistry. She was okay at it, like she was good at it, but she was not really excellent at the subject. But she was the first one to solve it, and she showed it to the sir. This sir, instead of appreciating her, started saying things like, "You must have got it done from someone, or you must have copied it from someone, or something." This demotivated the student so much that she started hating the subject and the teacher even more. The teacher behaved in this particular manner because this teacher had this preconceived notion about the student that she is not good at chemistry, that she is not good at studies. And just because she was not good at one particular subject, this teacher had created this image about the child that she is not good at anything. A similar incident has happened with me as well. So as I said earlier, I was good at academics. But once I entered my first year during my college, I was really tired of this entire system of teaching, wherein you are only expected to mug up things, and only if you can by heart, then you are thought to be intelligent. And a lot of time you are marked based on teachers' favoritism and all these things. I was just tired of it, and I felt like I did not want to prove myself to anyone. And because of this, I started taking my studies lightly for my first year of my graduation. But when I entered my second year, I realized that okay, if the degree needs this, if our career will be decided based on that, then I shall give my 100% for it. I will do everything, whatever the degree needs. But even after that, the way my teachers were treating me, nothing of it has been changed. Even though I was getting really good marks in my second year, in my third year, and even during my masters, my teachers still used to feel that I was getting my work done from someone else, or either I was copying it. They still feel that I was not good at studies, and probably like I'm just getting all these marks because I'm getting it done from someone else. My teachers used to behave in that particular way because when I entered during my first year, I was not giving my 100%. But they never made an attempt to talk to me to find a reason behind it. They had created this assumption about me that this person is not good at studies. But they never made an attempt to talk to me and figure out things. If any other normal child would be there, she would be demotivated by the approach of the teacher. But I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to have parents who helped me to surpass this. Many a time teachers say demotivating things to you because they use it as a strategy to get things done from you. What teachers want is to have 100% result. They want to set their record. But they don't think about the long-term consequences of their action in a life of a student. You got to know that people usually say demotivating things to you for two reasons. It could be anyone, your teachers, your relatives, your friends, anyone. One could be they are jealous of you, and the second one could be they are hurt themselves and it is their self-projection. Even when your teachers say something to you, it is probably because they are hurt themselves and they feel that way about themselves. And they are just projecting their insecurities on you. See, there's a difference between providing guidance and criticizing you. A good teacher will guide you. She will correct you whenever you are wrong. She will tell you how to improve yourself. She will inculcate faith and confidence in you. But if a teacher is insecure herself, if she is not confident herself, only then she will make you feel low about yourself. And this is the consequences of status game. Now, you can overcome status game by following three principles. First one is Anvishiki. Anvishiki meaning exploration. Ask questions like why, how, what. Only when you ask questions, you will be able to understand things in better way. The second one is wealth game mentality. Learn to make money for your team in right manner. Become financially independent. Once you're financially independent, you'll be confident. The third one is listen to your brain. Our brain often tells us to do something productive, like it tells us to read something, watch some interesting podcast, or talk to people from whom we can gain knowledge. But we be lethargic. But you got to remember that your brain is your biggest guru, and you need to listen to your brain. If you follow these three principles, then you are definitely at better place. Okay, so that's the wrap for today's episode of Popcorn with Piyu. I know this episode was a little bit content heavy, but I felt that it was needed. This is the first time I have poured my heart out. If you have liked this episode, then please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow friends. Until the next episode, the